Hi all, welcome back to Sunshine Show. Well, here we are. I want to discuss with you the Space Shuttle Columbia. It was another deception where there was a crash and 6 astronauts died. One of them was a female called Judith Risnick, and she was a school grade teacher, 8 and 9 I think it was. And now there's another Judith Risnick, professor. Now this information has been around for quite a while, and the 5 of the 6 astronauts have been identified with similar names and similar facial, the exact same facial recognition. Now we've been told that this space shuttle exploded in the air, and if you get the drift on the not being able to go to the stars, that's never ever happened, that we never went to the moon, that we never went to Mars with a rover, that it was on Devon Island. When you understand there's a deception, the deception goes so bad that they're going to falsely kill astronauts. And if you think, well, hey, okay, you've got no proof of that, look at the YouTube algorithms. So you'll type in on YouTube Space Shuttle Columbia, 6 astronauts are not dead, or 6 astronauts still alive, and it won't show you. It'll only show you all the stuff that they want you to show you. So you have to scroll way down to about the 40th one before you can find something where it shows you the pictures of the real ones, the real astronauts that are still alive, because they have not died. This is the deception. Now you're in a COVID situation right now, and you know people are giving you proof that the Wuhan lab and was not the fish market, and they're giving you that proof, and you're still not listening because you don't understand that the whole world is a lie. Everything we know is a lie. You had, for instance, you had Elon Musk, and he was launching his Tesla rocket into space. He wasn't even allowed to be in the building where he launched his rocket. So people go, you know, Elon Musk, you know, he wouldn't. He's a good guy, but he wasn't allowed in the same building. They had to remove him. So when he saw the image, he said, it looks so fake, it must be real. Okay, what else can he say? He can't tell you the truth. There's a big deception out there. He can't go against it. He's not allowed. One stage there, he was on Joe Rogan's show, and he'd been removed. But he did say on Joe Rogan's show that everything is in a simulation. Now, if you're not a Christian guy and you know that you can't go into space, that you know there is something preventing you going through the ozone layer, that you can't get out of the, in flat earth they'd call it a dome, that you can't get out of our atmosphere, that you can't get out of it, and you know that you're thinking, hey, we live in a simulation, that would be the automatic non-Christian atheist thing to do. And when they're exploring in Antarctica, they've got these atheist scientists, and they probably recruit them as atheist scientists, thinking the same thing. And so when they're discovering stuff, they don't really know anything because they don't have a Christian Bible reading person in there in these bases, because they're deliberately recruiting atheists in these places. They don't want Christians in there. They don't want mayhem. They don't want someone to say, because I talked to a guy from Antarctica and I asked him about that, Christians there, and he said no, there isn't. Now his job was digging into the Antarctic snow, digging into it and making a road thing into it, into the core, he reckoned. That was his job, but he wasn't working for the New Zealand embassy, he reckoned for something else. But he fully believed in his belief system. He knew nothing about, and if he did, he wasn't going to tell me, but he did tell me that the Antarctica was a place that had no disease, that could be that they were trying to create a place for the rich to escape to. And as you know, it's really hard to get in Antarctica. It's really hard to get in there because you need documentation, and you can't fly over it, you can't do anything. And as I've said in previous Antarctica videos, and this is another deception, nobody has flown over it. People have gone to the South Pole, the race to the South Pole. They've had people tripping there, but they only go to a certain point and come back. And maybe they've gone away from the wall, but they can always come back. 90 degrees come back. They don't go 180 degrees across. Nobody crosses it. And so when you understand the whole world is a deception, everything we know, these scientists are part of the deception. They're not going to tell you anything. They do have a documentary in New Zealand where they show the Dry Valley, and pretty much it's all penguins. They do go to the USA base, and they go to the Dry Valley. And in the Dry Valley, there's microorganisms. There's the only thing that's living there. Everything else is not living. So that's a place of not living, which goes along with the Enoch Scrolls about the ends of the earth, and a place where the rivers end, or rivers could be sea, where the seas end. And we got the ice wall. And you think, well, there was a recent documentary that came out with the ice wall. So when you know all this, and the 6 astronauts dying on the space shuttle, and how far they're going to go to get your belief working, they're going to kill and relocate all these people. And I've heard that possibly they've killed people that were about to tell the truth. There was one astronaut that was killed. Now there's 5 of the 6 have been relocated, but there is one that's missing. And I'm not sure if that was the one, but there was one astronaut that did die, and they were saying that he was going to squeal. And you're not allowed to squeal. You have to go with the program. They threaten you, threaten your children. It's kind of like the Epstein Island when you've done something wrong, although I don't know if these people have done anything wrong, but once they got you blackmailing, and they tell you where your children are, tell you where your grandchildren are, and you have to comply because it's your family at stake. And being humans the way we are very weak when it comes to our family about truth. So we will allow the lies of the world, hoping that someone will do the right thing, but we're not going to do it because we're going to look after our son, our daughter, we're going to look after our grandkids because we want to protect ourselves, but we don't want to protect the world because we come first. And we think, well, the world will correct itself, but it doesn't. The world keeps going evil because you didn't do your job. And yeah, it is hard when your families, because you put your family first. You put your family first above evil, and you're not willing for your kids, or your kids aren't willing either, to trek off to some isolated place so they don't get assassinated. You're not willing to go that extra length because at the end of the day, people do disappear. And, if you look at Hillary Clinton, there were a lot of people that wanted to squeal, and those people are all dead. They didn't play the game, and when you don't play the game, you're gone. And that's how it works. Anyway, thank you all.